Welcome back to the D&D Talk Wrestling Podcast, episode 47.
In this week's episode, we're going to do a little past versus present champions edition. So basically what we did is we took 5 different sets of championship belts. We have world champions, intercontinental champions, European and US titles, because they did merge them at one point, tag team champions, and women's champions. We chose 3 each for each set of the titles. So I got the past. So I had to choose from between the 70s to the 90s. Dave over here had to do the 2000s, 2010s, and current, the 2020s. So we got 3 each. We're going to put them into Gemini and see who wins each round.
Who basically is our third co-host, because
Yeah. We just had a lot of fun when we did the monster thing and then the insanely outrageous Thanksgiving sides thing.
Oh, and it's not the end of it for this month.
No, not at all. But yeah, we just figured this would be something fun, something interesting, and we'll see who wins overall, because there's 3 per bracket, 5 different championships, so there cannot be a tie whatsoever. We're going to start with the Intercontinental title, then we're going to go to the European and US title, then we're going to keep the big hitter, the World Championship, in the middle, and then we're going to go with tag team, and then I'll round it all out with the women's title. So how do you feel about your choices?
I don't know.
I had to dig in the past, man.
I told you, and I mean, the world title, I have no WWE champion for the world titles. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, all right.
That's fine, because I stuck with some, there was no rules, really. I mean, we wanted to keep it kind of WWE, but hey, you know what?
When do we ever follow the rules?
Yeah, exactly. I'm usually the rule breaker, so this time I actually, stayed, and I didn't go over my allotted choices.
I did. Oh, no, well, no, we couldn't.
No, I mean, remember in a lot of the past episodes?
Yeah. We're going to do one match from WrestleMania. I have 3 for this WrestleMania.
I picked 12. It wasn't even 12 matches on the card, but I picked the dark match too. That was good. We are going Intercontinental Champions first. So, am I starting?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, so the first superstar I chose for my Intercontinental Champions section is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, man.
He had a 414-day run as the champion, and fits because he won the title in 1986. So
I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of the...
I just have something.
I should have.
I just have something small. I just wanted to make sure, because yours can't overlap, because what are they going to overlap into?
Right.
The future?
They really can't.
Mine could overlap. If Macho Man won that in 2000, because I was going to put Eddie Guerrero on my list, but a lot of the major titles that he won was after 2000. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, man, because he's one of my goats. But
so I picked the person that brought back the white Intercontinental title, Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Oh, I feel like I know who's going to win this match.
That's why I didn't want to do in their... That's why I was trying to fight against not doing in their prime, because obviously Cody's in his prime right now.
That's fine. I'm okay with it being in their prime. I feel like that's fair. Cody was a champion in your time frame.
No, you mentioned Dashing Cody Rhodes, but you also asked for them in their prime. Dashing Cody was a mid-carder worried about his face. Prime Cody's an American Nightmare. To give Savage a fair fight, I am analyzing Prime Savage versus Prime Cody.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's
88-89 versus Cody 23-24.
Yeah. Because even though Cody won it in whatever year he won it, he is still a former Intercontinental champion.
Do you want to read Randy's tale of the tape, and then I'll read Cody's? Because that's right, you could read your wrestlers, and I'll read my wrestlers.
That's fine. Here we go. Tale of the tape, Macho Man, core style, frantic, intensity, high-flying brawler.
That sounds about right.
Best asset, cardio and unpredictability. Savage moved at a speed that most heavyweights in the 80s couldn't touch. He was famous for scripting matches move for move because he wanted 0 pauses.
I didn't know that.
Key moves, double axe handle, running knee to the back, flying elbow drop. Off the top rope.
No, 2. Is it? Did he do 2? He didn't do the 1. Because Punk does it now. Because I don't remember. Cody Rhodes, core style, modern main event, technical storyteller. Best asset, durability, and counter wrestling. Cody has an amateur wrestling background. He's a state champ. And a modern hybrid moveset. Cutters, suicide dives, combined with old school grit. Key moves, Cody Cutter, disaster kick, and the crossroads. Obviously, the whole match analysis. The verdict: who wins? Winner: Macho Man Randy Savage. Here is why: Styles makes fights. Cody Rhodes thrives against opponents who work a standard methodological structure like Seth, Roman, Brock. He knows how to weather a storm and hit a sudden counter. But Randy Savage in his prime didn't have a structure. He was pure chaos. He would be outside the ring, under the ring, on the top rope, and in your face all in 10 seconds. Cody's style relies on reading his opponent, but Savage was unreadable. The finish: Cody goes for a disaster kick, but Savage, with his insane reflexes, ducks it. Cody lands on his feet, but turns right into a clothesline that sends him over the top rope. Savage hits a double axe handle to the outside, rolls Cody in, slams him, and immediately hits the flying elbow drop for the 1-2-3. Wow.
You know what? I mean, that's hard though, because Macho Man's like
the funny. I like the whole.
GOAT, so
He'd be outside the ring, under the ring, on the top rope, and in your face, all within 10 seconds. That's kind of funny.
All right. So next up on our list, who do you have? I'll let you go first this time.
So my next Intercontinental. It's funny you brought him up, Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, look! I wanted Eddie on mine, but it turns out you got Eddie. You know what? I'm rooting for you. Why? I don't know, because I love Eddie.
I was like, yeah, and I had to double check, and I was like, yeah, no, Eddie could be there.
But if we're gonna stay in the sense of Latino heat,
oh no,
I also have a Puerto Rican superstar, which is Pedro Morales. He was, on an interesting fact about him, he was the first man to win the WWF Triple Crown World title, Intercontinental, and Tag Team. So
I didn't know. So doing that, I don't know if we ever talked about it on here. I've started doing that WrestlePlay website. I didn't realize they changed the Triple Crown format in like 97.
99.
99.
You told me, yeah.
This is a battle of the absolute crown of Latino wrestling history, of the original Trailblazer Pedro versus the modern icon.
Wow, we couldn't have set that up any more
really
perfect, to be honest with you.
So there's Pedro's tale.
Core style for Pedro Morales: power brawler, classical technician, best asset, stamina, and the comeback. Pedro was famous for long matches, often going 60-minute draws with Bruno Sammartino. He had an incredible fighting spirit that allowed him to absorb punishment and fire back with heavy punches. Key moves: the Boston Crab, backbreaker, and a devastating left-hand punch.
Eddie Guerrero's core style: technical high flyer / lie cheat steal.
Okay, you can't get mad at that.
Best asset, versatility, and ring IQ. Eddie could wrestle any style. If you wanted to brawl, he'd brawl. If you wanted to fly, he'd fly. But his true genius was disrupting his opponent's rhythm. Key moves: the lasso from El Paso, the three amigos suplexes, and the frog splash. What's the lasso from El Paso?
I don't know, that might have been earlier.
The verdict: who wins? Eddie Guerrero. Why?
Can't be mad at that.
Pedro Morales relies on the opponent standing right in front of him and trading blows like Stan Stasiak or Ivan Koloff. He wants a test of strength. Eddie refuses to play that game. He would target Pedro's knees to chop down the big man, taking away Pedro's power base. Pedro would eventually fire up for his legendary comeback, landing those big left hands, rocking Eddie. To finish, Pedro signals for the Boston Crab. He turns Eddie over. The crowd goes wild, but Eddie, ever the survivor, rolls through, sending Pedro stumbling into the turnbuckle. While the referee checks on Pedro, Eddie grabs a steel chair, smashes the mat with it, and tosses it to Pedro. Pedro catches the chair confused. The ref turns around, sees Pedro with the weapon, and scolds him. In that split second of confusion, Eddie drop kicks Pedro's knees, then hits the three amigos, goes up, and lands the frog splash. Pedro was stronger, but Eddie was smarter. I was hoping that was going to happen. All right, so in our Intercontinental
Championship in our section here, we each got one win. So our last one is going to decide who wins the IC bracket.
Yeah, you might win. Who do you have?
I chose for my third superstar, Tito Santana, 2-time Intercontinental Champion.
I chose Dolph Ziggler.
Oh,
I feel like besides Cody bringing back the white belt, Dolph is another one of those ones that, like, when you think of the time, I was gonna pick the Miz because like that was him too, but I didn't want the Miz on here. But I felt like when you thought of the IC title, I picture Ziggler. This is arguably the most aesthetic pleasing match you have proposed yet. You have pitted the 80s workhorse against the 2010s workhorse.
Ooh, look at how.
Wow.
All right, cool.
Both Tito and Dolph made a career out of being the guy the company trusted to get a good match out of anyone. They're both legendary sellers, guys who make the opponent's offense look devastating.
You know what? We like for not knowing.
We have
good matches.
Set up.
Good matches. Okay, tale of the tape for Tito Santana. Prime late 1980s, core style, technical fireball, best asset, babyface fire and timing. Tito was the ultimate white meat babyface. He had incredible cardio and arguably the best dropkick in the business before the modern era. He relied on wearing opponents down and exploding with sudden energy. Key moves: the flying forearm smash, the flying burrito.
I didn't know you called it that.
Figure 4 leg lock, and his esteemed dropkick.
Dolph Ziggler's prime, 2012 to 2014, the show-off, World Heavyweight Champ era. Core style, amateur technician, pinball machine, or whatever that means. Best asset, athleticism and the bump. Ziggler is a legitimate collegiate wrestling record holder from Kent State, but he wrestles like a ragdoll. He is faster than Tito and more explosive. Key moves: super kick, the zigzag, the jumping DDT, and the sleeper hold. I like how it says the sell job for the for the matchup. Who won? Dolph Ziggler.
Whoa!
Why? While Tito Santana has more heart and durability, his offensive style is too linear for someone as twitchy and reactive as Ziggler. What?
Okay.
Tito relies on building momentum, dropkick, clothesline, signal for the finish, leap. That telegraphed sequence is deadly against a slow 80s heel like Greg the Hammer Valentine. But against Dolph Ziggler, it's a trap. Dolph is too fast and his background allows him to control where the match takes place. The finish, Tito mounts his classic comeback. He hits the inverted atomic drop, rocks Dolph with a clothesline, and the crowd goes crazy. Tito pumps his fist, bounces off the ropes, and leaps for the flying forearm. As Tito is in midair, Dolph instinctively snaps off a super kick, catching Tito right on the chin before he can land. Both men collapse, but Dolph falls on top for the cover. 1, 2, 3. That sound like I can see Dolph doing that.
Yeah, I could.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. When I heard the matchup, I was like, I think I'm winning this.
I thought I was losing. When I had Dolph, I was like, man.
All right, so we're moving on now. So overall, before we go on, Intercontinental Championship section, Dave, you have taken that
with Dolph and with Eddie. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I was
so far, through all 5 eras, you have 1 point so far. So you are in the lead.
So now we're going U.S.
U.S./European.
Ah, shit.
All right, so here I got my heavy hitter coming out first.
Yeah, so do I.
Do you?
Yeah, so do I.
Are you sure, or is it a joke?
No, I'm positive I have my heavy hitter coming out first.
All right, well, my first one, he spent 92 days as the title holder, defeated the British Bulldog for the title, European title, I should say, making him the first ever Grand Slam champion in 1997, Mr. HBK Shawn Michaels.
So I have...
See, that was one where I was like, oh, how could I fit in HBK? And I'm like, oh, he was the European champ.
I have the greatest of all time, the never seen 17, retiring in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
U.S. champ, spinner belt winner, John Cena.
Oh, damn. This is a match.
I mean, they've had this match at a WrestleMania?
Oh, you weren't lying when you said you got your big dog coming out, not Roman Reigns.
I didn't want Cena in the world, and I was like, where can I put him? And I was like, I love the U.S. spinner belt.
I didn't want HBK in the world.
Ooh.
Which I could have used him there, but...
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was a Mania, because they had the tag titles right before it.
This is a tough one.
This is a Mount Rushmore level conversation. You are talking about arguably the 2 greatest big match performers in WWE history. We've seen them fight before, WrestleMania 23, Raw in the UK, but that was an older Shawn Michaels versus a rising John Cena. Whoo! Tail of the tape, Shawn Michaels. 96 is his prime.
That's what I said, because that's when he had the back injury.
Yeah! And oh, yeah, that is when he had... Yeah.
Like, towards the end of the 90s is when he had the back injury, then he came back, and he was still, like, legit, but... Anyways, core style for the Heartbreak Kid. Speed, high-risk technician. Best asset, moving and selling. In 96, HBK was untouchable. He could wrestle for 60 minutes and not look tired. He frustrated power wrestlers by simply not being there when they swung. Key moves, sweet chin music, moonsault, and flying elbow.
John Cena, a 2011 prime. Core style, powerhouse brawler. Best asset, strength and resilience. Cena wasn't the smoothest wrestler, but he was the strongest pound for pound. His Super Cena era
Super Cena.
was defined by absorbing an ungodly amount of punishment, hitting the AA out of nowhere. Key moves, attitude adjustment, STFU, and the 5-knuckle shuffle. I'm afraid to scroll because if Cena doesn't win, I don't know what's going to happen. Who wins? Shawn Michaels!
Yeah!
Why? While Cena has the strength advantage, Shawn Michaels in 1996 operates at a speed that Cena cannot contain. Cena relies on his 5 moves of doom sequence to win matches. Shoulder tackle, slam, 5-knuckle shuffle, AA. That sequence relies on the opponent making a mistake and staying down. Prime HBK never stayed down and rarely made mistakes. Every time Cena tries to initiate his power sequence, HBK would be too quick, nipping up and countering. The finish, it's deep in the match. Cena catches a flying crossbody, rolls through, and lifts Shawn up for the AA. The crowd thinks it's over, but as Cena creates separation to slam him, Shawn lands on his feet, cat-like agility. Cena turns around, shocked, and charges for a clothesline. Shawn ducks, bounces off the rope, and bam, sweet chin music. Cena falls, but being Super Cena, he tries to stagger back up. Shawn tunes up the band in the corner, waits for Cena to turn, hits the sweet chin music for the definitive 1, 2, 3.
You know what? I like in this that they didn't even have Cena lose with one finisher. He had to take 2.
I have a problem, though.
What?
I have a problem.
What?
This is 1996 Shawn Michaels. Oh, fuck. You do have 90s. Never mind. You have 90s. I don't know.
Cutoff is 99.
You know, you're right. My fault. I don't know. You're right. Never mind. I don't have a problem with it. I lost. That's fine. Cena lost. Damn. You
just had Dolph Ziggler win you the Intercontinental bracket. When I had Tito Santana, Pedro Morales, and Macho Man. Okay.
So for the second matchup, I think we've been doing so far every time the losing person goes first. So okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
For the next U.S. title holder, I have Shelton Benjamin.
Okay. I have a way different style of wrestling, so I kicked it old school with this. So, fun fact, the NWA United States Championship has the same lineage as the WWE United States Championship. So, I decided to trickle back in time a little bit. I decided to go with probably most of our favorite wrestlers' favorite wrestler, Harley Race.
Oh.
First ever NWA United States Champion.
That's a matchup. That's like a big man versus... Although every time I picture Shelton Benjamin, all I picture is him going from the rope to the other side, getting sweet chin music.
I don't think anybody realizes how big Shelton is.
He is.
For his agility?
Yeah, for his agility.
He's like the same size as Lashley.
Yeah. I love that I love when every time they team up too. This is a battle of pure athleticism versus pure grit. You have Shelton Benjamin, one of the most naturally gifted athletes WWE ever saw, against Harley Race, widely considered one of the toughest men to ever walk the planet.
Yeah. He's usually 2 or 3 when they talk about toughest men ever.
This is the classic young lion versus grizzled vet dynamic. Tail of the tape, Shelton Benjamin, core style, amateur wrestling, high-flying hybrid. Best asset, explosiveness. Shelton could go from standing still to the top rope in a split second. His vertical leap and balance allowed him to hit moves from angles nobody expected. Key moves, the T-bone suplex exploder, pay dirt, dragon whip kick, springboard splashes.
We got Harley Race, core style, power brawler, hooker, in parentheses, which means submission shooter. Best asset, physical toughness and stiffness. Harley didn't perform moves, he inflicted them. He wrestled a heavy, snug style designed to stop opponents from moving. If you tried to get fancy, he would just hit you. I like that. Key moves, a pile driver, diving headbutt, bridging fisherman suplex, high knee.
I think you have this
which
one.
Is Triple H.
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah. The verdict, who wins? Harley Race. Why? Shelton Benjamin has the physical tools to beat anyone, as we saw when he defeated Triple H. But Triple H molded his style after Harley Race. And while Shelton surprised Triple H, Harley Race is a different kind of animal. I like how you just said Triple H and they pulled in Triple H. Shelton would dominate the early match with speed, hitting dragon whips and leaping over Harley. But Shelton had a tendency to take high risks. Against the King, one mistake is fatal. Harley doesn't need to be faster, he just needs to be harder. To finish, Shelton is on a roll. He hits the stinger splash in the corner as signals for the T-bone suplex. He tries to hook Harley, but Harley is too wide and too strong. He sandbags him, makes himself dead weight. Shelton adjusts back up and runs in for a clothesline or a spin kick. Harley anticipates it, steps forward, and blasts Shelton with a stiff high knee right to the face. Shelton crumbles. Harley scoops him up, hits a snapping pile driver, and slowly covers him. The referee counts 3, but Harley stands on top for a 4 count just to make a point. Damn.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't even matter if I sweep you on this. Then we would literally be tied.
We're
1-1.
tied, yeah. So my last United States champion,
I think I might sweep you on this. I'm not gonna lie.
the lunatic fringe, Dean Ambrose.
Okay. All right. I chose one of the greatest superstars to ever live. Arguably had one of the greatest matches of all time. Mr. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat held the U.S. title for 72 days in NWA.
This is a clash of philosophies. The Ultimate Pro Wrestler versus the Ultimate Street Fighter. You have Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, a man who treated wrestling like an art form, against Dean Ambrose, John Moxley, a man who treats wrestling like bar fights. For prime Dean Ambrose, I'm looking at his peak unhinged era, 2016, 2020, 2022, where his durability and violence were at the max. All right, so we'll go tail of the tape, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Core style, technical perfection, martial arts. Best asset, fluidity, and chops. Steamboat moved like water. His arm drags were so deep they sent opponents flying across the ring. His knife-edge chops were legitimately painful. Ric Flair said Steamboat hit harder than anyone. Key moves, diving crossbody, deep arm drag, electric chair drop.
I didn't know he did an electric chair drop.
That's an old school move.
Dean Ambrose / John Moxley. Core style, hardcore brawler, technical shooter. Best asset. I don't know what the hell that word is.
Masochistic.
There you go.
durability.
Masochistic durability. Ambrose Moxley actually fights better when he is hurt or bleeding, of course. He lures opponents into a false sense of security by letting them beat him up only to snap back with sudden violence. Key moves, dirty deeds, paradigm shift, double arm DDT, rebound lariat, bulldog choke. Uh-oh. I think you have it. Oh, the verdict. Who wins? Dean Ambrose.
Wow.
Ricky Steamboat is the perfect wrestler to beat other wrestlers, but Dean Ambrose isn't trying to wrestle you. He's trying to survive you. Steamboat famously struggled against opponents who didn't play by the rules, like Ric Flair or Jake Roberts. He would dominate 90% of the match with beautiful technique, but he was susceptible to the sudden, dirty shift in momentum. Ambrose is the master of the ugly win. He would drag Steamboat out of the ring, throw him into the barricade, and turn the match into a grind that nullifies Steamboat's speed. The finish: Steamboat is flying. Hits a perfect karate chop from the top rope, then a deep arm drag. Ambrose stumbles up, dazed. Steamboat climbs the turnbuckle for his legendary diving crossbody. He leaps, perfect form, but Ambrose doesn't try to catch him or dodge. Instead, Ambrose absorbs the impact, rolls through with the momentum, and scrambles to his feet while holding on to Steamboat. Before Steamboat can realize what happened, Ambrose kicks him in the gut, plants him with the sudden dirty deed double arm DDT. Steamboat, who isn't used to that level of impact on his head, is out cold. Ambrose hooks the leg 1, 2, 3. Wow. I mean, regardless, you won the round, but
Yes, I did win the round. So right now we're at 1-1. I didn't sweep it though.
no, you did not.
I did not sweep it though.
I don't
so-
think anybody's gonna have a sweep.
I
Honestly.
don't know. Yeah, I got 2 wins on this one. You had 2 wins on the last one, but overall,
yeah,
the
that's
points.
how the person would win that round.
It wasn't a sweep. That was what I'm
Oh,
trying to
you're right.
say.
You're right. Okay.
Overall, 1 versus 1. So now we put the world title in the middle. The heavy hitters.
We didn't want to put it at the. I didn't want to start with it, and I was like, let's do it at the end. But you were like, no. What if we're already?
Yeah. What if someone did
What if
get kind of
somebody's already
swept
won?
already,
Yeah.
and the world title's
Didn't
useless,
really
so.
matter.
All right. So I guess since I lost, I'll start. My first world heavyweight champion I've chose was Bruno Sammartino. Longest reign ever. He had a 2,803 days, and then he had a 1,237 day reign. Man was insane.
I didn't go WWE. I picked the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, the New Japan's. I don't know if he's the longest reigning champion, but when you think of the New Japan title, it's like him, Omega, Ospreay.
Okay.
But I wanted to pick Okada. Okay. This is the ultimate God of the 20th century versus God of the 21st century matchup. You're pitting the longest reigning WWE champion, Bruno, against the man who held the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion for 720 days, Okada. Both men defined dominance for their respective eras. Tail of the tape.
Bruno Sammartino's core style, powerhouse brawler, ground and pound. His best asset, physical strength and stability. Bruno didn't run around. He stood in the center of the ring and dared you to move him. If he got his hands on you, bear hug, Canadian backbreaker, the match was usually over. His key moves was the bear hug, hammerlock, body slam, punch kick combos.
What's the Canadian backbreaker?
Sounds like it hurt.
Kazuchika Okada, core style, King's Road style, endurance and storytelling. Best asset, the deep waters. Okada's superpower is that he gets better as the match goes on. He absorbs punishment for 30 minutes, waits for the opponent to get tired, and then hits a sudden burst of offense. Key moves, the Rainmaker, short arm lariat, drop kick, arguably the best ever, and a tombstone piledriver. Kazuchika Okada is the winner. Shit.
Okada beats Bruno Sammartino.
Why? This is heartbreaking loss for the legend, but styles make fights. Bruno Sammartino is built to destroy monsters like Gorilla Monsoon or Killer Kowalski, who will try to overpower him. But Okada doesn't try to overpower you. He lets you throw everything you have in him until you are exhausted. He is a defensive champion. Bruno would spend 25 minutes tossing Okada around, slamming him and squeezing him. Okada would survive. His durability is legendary. Eventually, Bruno would go for the kill, maybe charging for the final blow. That aggression is exactly what Okada waits for. The finish. Bruno was dominated for 20 minutes. He whips Okada into the ropes and bends down for the back body drop, or perhaps prepares for the bear hug. Okada stops short, grabs Bruno's wrist, and spins him out. Bruno, angry and strong, tries to pull his arm away and clothesline Okada with his free arm. Okada ducks the clothesline, maintains the wrist control, pulls Bruno back in, and connects with the thunderous Rainmaker. Then back to the neck. Bruno's historical weak point is too much. Okada collapses on top for the 1-2-3. Don't be upset. It's fine.
I don't know if I agree
Don't
with
be upset. It's
that. I
fine.
don't know if I agree with that.
It's fine.
All right, well, since I lost, I'm going to throw out my number 2.
This has been an incredible card so far. Would you like to move on to tag team division? It knows what we're going to do. Or perhaps high flyer versus high flyer match.
So my second choice in the world title.
You're not getting this one. All right, go ahead.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, you're not getting this one.
Oh, I'm first of all, I'm not gonna lose because that's not gonna work for me, brother. But he had 5 reigns from 84 to 95. He had a 1,474-day reign. Obviously, he was a champion well into the 2000s too. But everybody knows his prime was in the 80s and 90s.
Absolutely.
No doubt in my mind.
I am going to go for a WWE Hall of Famer as well. I believe he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. But I'm not talking about his WWE career. I am talking about his Perk career. TNA champion, Kurt Angle. This is the ultimate clash of showbiz versus sport. You have Hulk Hogan, the man who built the empire on charisma, 24-inch pythons, and the immortal comeback, versus Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist who is widely considered the most technically proficient athlete in WWE history. We actually saw this match in 2002, but that was an older Hogan. Let's look at 80s Hogan versus Prime 2003-2006 Wrestling Machine Angle.
Hulk Hogan's tale of the tape. Poor style, power brawler. Best asset, the Hulk up. In his prime, Hogan was virtually invincible. Once the adrenaline hit, he felt no pain, relied on size, basic strikes, and overwhelming aura of invincibility. Key moves, the big boot, the leg drop, axe bomber, and the body slam.
Kurt Angle, core style, Olympic grappling, submission specialist. Best asset, intensity and wrestling IQ. Angle didn't just wrestle, he swarmed. He could take down any heavyweight with a single or double leg takedown, neutralizing their size. His cardio was endless. Key moves, ankle lock, angle slam, moonsault, German suplex trio. Who wins? Kurt Angle. God. Woo!
Really?
Why? Hogan's entire career was built on fighting monsters, giants who move slowly, or cowards, heels who ran away. He rarely faced a shark, someone smaller, faster, and more aggressive than him.
Yes, he did. Macho Man.
Who wasn't afraid. Oh, no, Macho Man wasn't afraid. They were... I feel like they were the same size.
No, Macho Man was
Macho Man.
Yeah.
In a stylistic matchup, Hogan is too one-dimensional. He looks for the big boot. Angle, with his amateur background, would simply duck the boot, catch the leg, and take Hogan down. Hogan had no technical counter wrestling to escape a world-class grappler on the mat. The finish, Hogan is battered. He starts to shake. The crowd erupts. He hulks up. Angle punches him. Hogan shakes it off. Angle punches him again. Hogan points the finger. You! Hogan throws the big right hand, whips Angle into the ropes, and lifts the leg for the big boot. But Angle, with his elite reflexes, slides under the boot, pops up behind Hogan, hits a devastating angle slam, immediately grabs the stunned Hogan's foot, locks into ankle lock, and grapevines the leg. Hogan tries to power out. He tries to feed off the crowd, but he has no leverage. The pain is real, not kayfabe. Hogan has no choice but to tap out.
Well, you won the world champion.
Wow. Yeah, but we got to do the last. We have to do the last.
I don't understand how 2 of the greatest champions of all time literally lose. But, you know.
Gemini told you how.
Yeah, well,
Don't be upset.
I'm about to have a match with Gemini. So the last wrestler I chose for the world champion is the former leader of world championships, the 16-time, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
I chose another TNA world champion, also a New Japan world champion, AJ Styles.
Well, there he goes. Here's the first sweep.
What's that? Don't do that.
No, apparently Gemini is like Dave Meltzer. All they like is high-flying, speedy guys.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't like actual wrestling.
Wow.
See that? You already got the point, so
I know, but we got to see. What if Ric Flair somehow wins? I feel like they've wrestled before. Obviously, not in his prime, but
yeah, Flair was in TNA for a minute.
I don't know if they've ever had a match because I know like they were both part of Fortune and stuff. This is a dream match between the master of psychology and the master of execution. You have Ric Flair, the man who defined what it means to be a world champion, versus AJ Styles, arguably the most versatile in-ring performer of the last 20 years.
Till the tape, Ric Flair, core style, technical grounding, dirtiest player in the game. Best asset, ring generalship, and leg work. Flair's entire game plan was to slow the opponent down. He would chop you into a corner, tire out, then systematically destroy your knee to set up the figure four. Key moves, figure four leg lock, knife edge chop, knee drop, low blow, illegal but essential.
AJ Styles, core style, aerial technician, hybrid striker. Best asset, explosive counters. AJ thrives on using his opponent's momentum against them. He can catch you in a submission, hit you with a knockout strike, the Pele kick, or fly over the top rope, all from the same standing position. Key moves, Styles Clash, phenomenal forearm, calf crusher. I don't know what the hell that move is. Ushigoroshi. What the hell is that?
Probably something used in New Japan. That's insane.
Probably something he's going to use to beat AJ. Who wins? AJ Styles. Why? Ric Flair is the greatest champion of all time, but his style relies on the opponent making a mistake, usually a babyface losing their cool and charging into a trap. AJ Styles, in his prime, doesn't make mistakes. He is surgical. Flair would spend the match working on AJ's legs. He would lock in the figure four, and AJ would scream in pain, but AJ has the calf crusher, which is a direct counter to the leg attacks. When Flair spins for the figure four, he leaves his own leg exposed. To finish, Ric Flair has done the damage. He hit the shin breaker, he went up top, and actually landed the crossbody. He struts, woo, and grabs AJ's leg to lock in the figure four. As Flair spins to lock it in, AJ uses his core strength to catch Flair's free leg. He rolls through the figure four and instantly traps Flair in the calf crusher. Flair screams, he tries to reach the ropes, but he's in the center of the ring. He tries to poke AJ's eye, but AJ ducks his head. The torque of the calf is too much for the older superstar. Flair taps out. Don't be upset. What are you upset about? Don't be upset.
Bro, how do you sweep that? How do you sweep those guys? Whatever. So right now, the score is 2-1.
It is.
We are moving on to our tag teams that we have chosen.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
The first tag team I decided to go with was Demolition. 3-time tag team champions in the WWF/E.
I guess I chose. I think they're the multi-time. I think they're the most Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the Briscoes. This is a war between corporate dominance and backwoods violence. You have Demolition, Axe and Smash, the longest reigning tag team of the Golden Era, who wrestled a crushing methodological style, versus the Briscoes, Jay and Mark, arguably the greatest brother duo in indie wrestling history, who wrestled a style defined as redneck kung fu and absolute chaos.
Tail of the tape, Demolition, Axe and Smash. Style, power brawling, isolation. Best asset, size, and chemistry. They were master technicians of tag wrestling. They didn't do fancy moves. They pounded you down, tagged frequently, and kept you away from your corner. Key moves, the decapitation, backbreaker, elbow drop combo, repeated double axe handles, clotheslines.
The Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark. Core style, hardcore brawling, high impact agility. Best asset, unpredictability and grit. Jay was a heavy hitter, the jawbreaker, while Mark was the wild card who would jump off anything. They had a pain tolerance that Demolition never had to deal with in the 80s. Key moves, the Jay Driller, double underhook pile driver, froggy bow, frog splash elbow, and the redneck boogie. Never heard of the redneck boogie. The verdict, who wins? The Briscoe brothers. Wow, Demolition is a system team. They win by isolating one guy and grinding him down. That works against standard wrestlers. It does not work against the Briscoes because both brothers are equally dangerous. If you isolate Mark, he will bite you and flip out of the corner. If you isolate Jay, he will just start throwing haymakers. Demolition relies on the opponent playing by the rules of physics and pacing. The Briscoes bring a level of chaotic violence and the methodological act and smash. I can't talk today. Methodical axe and smash aren't built to handle. Demolition would try to work a hold. The Briscoes would would turn it into a street fight. The finish, Demolition has Mark Briscoe isolated. They set up for the decapitation. Smash holds Mark on his knee, and Axe comes off the ropes with the elbow. But Mark moves. Axe smashes his elbow into his own partner's knee. Jay Briscoe hits the ring like a freight train, blasting Axe with a huge lariat that sends him over the top rope. Smash Clutching his knee, tries to stand up, but Jay kicks him in the gut and hoists him up for the Jay Driller. He spikes Smash into the mat. Mark flies to the top rope with a froggy bow elbow for the good measure. 1, 2, 3. Are you ready for another tag team match? The Shield versus NWO. Whoa, hold on.
All right. So the next team that I have on my list is the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal.
Oh, you might have this.
They won the titles in 91 and won many titles over many promotions over the years.
I have probably one of my favorite of the new era, the Young Bucks. Okay. Multiple Ring of Honor, multiple New Japan.
Friggin' Gemini Meltzer.
Don't be like that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Everything it said was that the High Flyer has an advantage over the Powerhouse. Yeah, tell that to everyone Hogan squashed.
That's different. 80s. That was different. That was Hogan.
90s, 2000s,
that was Hogan.
2010s.
This is the ultimate old school toughness versus new school flash debate. It is the matchup that causes the most arguments between wrestling generations. You have the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, the most dominant power team in history, who refused to sell moves and ate opponents alive. See?
They did refuse to sell moves.
Versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, the kings of the modern super kick party who rely on speed, tandem offense, and breaking the laws of physics.
I'm on a 4-match losing streak.
Okay.
Right now.
This is just prepared for you next year when you lose the
oh my God,
predictions.
You're about to get a 3D through this. I'm going to pick you up and then still do it.
Throw me and then run around.
Tail of the tape, Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, core style, power squash, intimidation, best asset and vulnerability. In their prime, if you punch Hawk, he would stick his tongue out at you and laugh. If you pile drived him, he would stand up immediately. Their style was designed to make opponents' offense look useless. Key moves, the Doomsday Device, press slam, clotheslines that took heads off. I love the Doomsday Device.
I love the Doomsday Device. The Young Bucks, core style, high-flying super kick party, best asset, cardio, and volume. The Bucks don't hit you once. They hit you 15 times in 10 seconds. They rely on swarming larger opponents with kicks and flips until the big man is dizzy. Key moves, the Meltzer driver, the Indie Taker, super kicks, hundreds of them. More bang for your buck. I like it, the no-sell factor. See, they didn't have that for Hogan. Advantage, Legion of Doom. The verdict who wins, Legion of Doom. There you go. Are you happy? Are you happy?
I was on a 4-match streak.
Why? The Young Bucks are fantastic at wrestling matches. The Legion of Doom wrestled fights. In a stylistic clash, the Bucks' death by 1,000 cuts strategy fails against LOD because LOD has too much armor. The Bucks could hit Hawk with 5 super kicks in a row, and Hawk would likely absorb them, shake his head, and scream, "What a rush!" The Bucks are used to opponents who would play along with the rhythm, while prime Road Warriors did not play along. They would treat the Bucks like they treated the Rockers or the Fantastics as snacks. The finish. The Young Bucks are flying around, hitting tandem drop kicks. Matt holds Animal for a super kick. Nick hits him. Animal stumbles back but doesn't fall. Matt tries for another one, but Animal catches his foot, spins him around, and virtually beheads him with a lariat. Nick Jackson tries to spring off the top rope for a save, but Hawk catches him in midair with a press slam, dropping him throat first onto the top rope. Animal hoists Matt Jackson onto his shoulders. The crowd knows what's coming. Hawk climbs to the top rope, the Doomsday Device. Matt flips inside out. Hawk covers him with one hand. 1, 2, 3. There, you happy? See? Are you okay now?
Some of them I don't agree with. That's what I'm saying.
So we're tied 1-1 in tag teams.
Yes.
It's funny you said 3D for the finisher you're going to give me, because my final tag team is the Dudley Boys.
Okay. Well, if the Dudley Boys like to fight, I have a team that is perfect to fight them.
Oh, shit.
The Wild Samoans, offense.
Oh.
3-time tag team champions. I don't think I could pick another team that could actually brawl. Besides Legion of Doom versus the Dudleys probably would have been good.
That would have been good too, but the Wild Samoans versus the Dudleys. The Wild Samoans versus the Briscoes probably would have been a match too.
If you win this, you win overall. You will have 3 points.
I hope it. Well, I mean, regardless, we're going to go to the women, but...
Yeah, we'll do the women too, but...
I feel like I'm going to get squashed in that.
The women?
Yeah, I don't know why.
We'll see.
This is a war between the original Savages and the Kings of Extreme. You have the Wild Samoans, Offense Sika, the blueprint for every monster tag team that followed, known for their unbreakable heads and primitive brutality, versus the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon, with the most decorated tag team in history who turned violence into a science with tables, chairs, and the lethal 3D. Tail of the tape, the Dudley Boys. Core style, hardcore brawling, tandem precision. Best asset, the third man, the table. The Dudleys effectively fight as a 3-man team because they weaponize the environment better than anyone. They also have the 3D Dudley Death Drop, arguably the greatest tag team finisher ever created.
I would say that's definitely top 5.
Key moves, 3D, the Was Up Headbutt, the Bubba Bomb, and the Spine Buster.
The Wild Samoans, core style, savage power, uncivilized chaos. Best asset, the Samoan skull. It's a fundamental rule of wrestling physics. You cannot hurt a Samoan by hitting him in the head.
We know
If you headbutt them, you hurt yourself. If you hit them with the chair to the head, the chair bends. Key moves, double headbutt, Samoan drop, claw hold, stiff kicks.
I think you have this one.
I don't know.
Who wins? The Dudley Boys. Wow. Why? The Wild Samoans are dangerous, but they are one-dimensional. Don't. They rely on fear and pain compliance. The Dudley Boys cannot be intimidated. They came from ECW. They've seen worse, and they thrive on pain. The deciding factor is evolution. I didn't know Triple H, Batista, and Orton were in this. The Dudleys are essentially the modern version of the Samoans. They have the same nasty streak, but they added tandem moves and weapons to the mix. The Samoans would dominate the early brawl, likely shrugging off chair shots to the head. But once the Dudleys realize headshots don't work, Bubba calls the audible. The finish. The match is a bloodbath, obviously. Sika is biting Bubba Ray's forehead in the corner. Afa is choking Devon. Devon manages to low blow Afa. The Dudleys fight dirty. Bubba Ray hits Sika with a trash can lid, not to the head, but to the ribs, doubling him over. Bubba screams, "Devon, get the tables." They set up a table in the corner. Afa charges, looking for a double clothesline, but the Dudleys duck. They hoist the massive Afa in the air and bring him down, crashing through the wood with a thunderous 3D. The impact to the neck, body finishes. What strikes to the head could not. 1, 2, 3. I didn't know this was a hardcore match. I didn't know that was happening. Don't be upset. It's fine. Don't get all.
Really?
Oh, would you like to analyze a stable versus stable, whatever, or perhaps teacher versus student, Killer Kowalski versus Triple H? That would actually be a good match.
Well, you have taken with 3 points to my 1.
That's okay. We're still gonna go to the women's just to see.
The women's just to see. Yeah.
If you want to go first, go ahead.
First for the women, I chose Bull Nakano, one-time WWE Women's Champion, 5-month reign.
It's Kano, right? Nakano.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Why did I only put Bull Nakano?
Well, apparently she's going to win because she's only going against herself.
So I chose somebody whose gimmick we absolutely love right now. The only, I think, technically current, timeless Toni Storm. This is a fantastic clash of the monster movie versus the golden age of Hollywood. You have Bull Nakano, a terrifying force of nature who looks like she stepped out of a sci-fi horror film, versus timeless Toni Storm, a delusional 50s starlet who believes that wrestling ring is a movie set and refuses to break character.
Tail headed tape, Bull Nakano, core style, powerhouse, agility, best asset, intimidation, and mass. Bull was often 50 to 70 pounds heavier than her opponents, but she could do moonsaults. She didn't just beat people, she traumatized them. Key moves, guillotine leg drop from the top rope, scorpion crosslock, and a lariat.
Timeless Toni Storm, core style, technical theatrics. Best asset, the script. Toni forces opponents to play her game. She feigns injuries, screams about her close-up, and uses Luther as her human shield. Beneath the act, she is a technician, Storm Zero power driver, but she relies on confusing the opponent. Key moves, Storm Zero, Tiger Driver, Sweet Cheeks music, the hip attack, and the shoe, the weapon. You might actually have this. Yeah, winner Bull Nakano. Why? Timeless Toni Storm is dangerous because she drags you in her delusion, but Bull Nakano is a literal nightmare. Tony's offense relies on the hip attack, Sweet Cheeks music, against a 120-pound opponent. That move knocks them down. Against the solid mass of Bull Nakano, Tony is just going to bounce off. Tony would try to act her way out of trouble, perhaps swooning or crying to confuse the referee. Bull wouldn't care. Bull is a shooter at heart. She sees an open target. She destroys it. The finish. Toni Storm is frustrated. She tries to slap Bull, the classic Hollywood slap. Bull doesn't blink. Bull grabs Toni by her hair, and Toni has great hair for grabbing. Swings her around the ring and tosses her into the corner. Toni tries to scramble away, but Luther is cowering on the floor because Bull glared at him. Bull hits a crushing clothesline, then climbs to the top rope. The crowd goes silent. The guillotine leg drop. Bull lands all her weight across Toni's chest, but it's not a movie scene. It's a massacre. 1, 2, 3. Bull Nakano reigns supreme.
Too little too late, team me.
It's fine. So my next women's champion is from early 2000s era. An extreme person, I guess you can say. I have Lita.
I have Alundra Blaze,
Oh, this is actually
3-time champion, before she inevitably went to WCW with that belt
with the belt and threw it in the garbage can.
and changed her name to Medusa.
I took out Trish Stratus for Lita. I didn't want to have both.
I would definitely go Trish over Lita.
Listen, I was gonna put Liv, Alexa, and Charlotte, and I was like, I'm not doing that. The last one's gonna be a tough one. This is the battle of the revolutionary versus the technician. You have Lita, the woman who defined the Attitude Era for women by using things the boys did: moonsaults, ladders, hurricane ranas. Versus Alundra Blaze, Medusa, the woman who single-handedly carried the new generation women's division by wrestling a hard-hitting Japanese-influenced style. Tail of the tape for Lita, her core style is a high-flyer brawler, best asset, unpredictability, and agility. Lita moved in ways women in WWE haven't seen before. Her lucha libre training allowed her to snap off a head scissors or a DDT from nowhere. Key moves: the Lita Salt, Moonsault, Twist of Fate, Hurricane Rana, and the DDT.
Alundra Blaze, core style, powerhouse technician, striker. Best asset, suplexes and kicks. Blaze had one of the best bridging German suplexes in the business, man or woman. She hit hard Muay Thai kicks and could throw opponents around with ease. Key moves: bridging German suplex, spin kicks, powerbomb, missile dropkick.
You probably have this one. You might sweep this. The winner, Alundra Blaze. Why? Lita is an icon because of her charisma and her bravery. But purely as a wrestler, she struggled against technicians who could ground her, like Molly Holly or Jazz. Alundra Blaze is the ultimate version of that archetype. Lita would get some flashy offense in early, maybe a hurricane runner or a diving crossbody. But Blaze is too strong and too disciplined. She wouldn't get flustered. She would catch Lita, slow the pace down, and start throwing those heavy kicks. Lita relies on her opponent making a mistake. Blaze, in her prime, was a machine who rarely slipped up. The finish: Lita mounts a comeback with her signature energy. She hits the Twist of Fate. The crowd goes wild. Lita climbs the top rope. She sets up for the Lita Salt. She launches into the air. Alundra Blaze, showing her veteran instincts, gets her knees up. Lita crashes ribs first onto Blaze's knees. Lita writhes in pain. Blaze immediately stands up, grabs Lita by the waist, and executes a picture-perfect bridging German suplex. The referee counts 1, 2, 3. Manager versus manager battle. Paul Heyman versus Bobby Heenan. Why do I kind of like that? They've been giving out great suggestions.
Bobby Heenan will beat his ass.
Bobby. Are we doing Mike or are we doing wrestling? I don't know.
Oh, Mike?
I don't know. Mike is probably Heyman. But is it a wrestling match?
I think Heyman's better at like insults and shit off the top, but Bobby was better at quick wit and funny things. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways.
So my last one is someone who may be coming back. I'm not sure. She had a little stint in AEW. I have Paige.
Okay.
The first ever women's NXT champion. Yeah.
I chose Wendy Richter, 2-time women's champion, famously winning it from the fabulous Moolah, who I didn't add to this because she's kind of a piece of shit.
Did I spell Richter right? It should be able to figure it out.
So I refused to use Moolah, even though she was a champion for 50 years.
Like, I shouldn't say it was hard to pick, but it like...
You had a lot more options than I did.
I had a lot. This is the battle of the rock and wrestling icon versus the anti-diva. You have Wendy Richter, the woman who, alongside Cyndi Lauper, brought women's wrestling into the mainstream pop culture of the 80s, versus Paige, the woman who dragged the Divas division kicking and screaming into the modern era of heavy-hitting wrestling. No, you definitely had a harder time than me. I had a lot of people, but it was also like... I'm going to put Kelly. I don't know if Molly Holly...
What do you mean, who are you going to put?
No, that's what
you had Rhea. You had
Bianca. I didn't want to pick today. I was trying to not have today because then I would have swept everything if I would have had today.
Not really. I mean, maybe because my choices apparently were terrible. Bruno Sammartino was a terrible champion. Tail of the tape for Wendy Richter, core style 80s powerhouse, higher energy babyface. I noticed every woman I chose was a powerhouse.
Yeah, you really did.
Best asset, momentum and strength. Wendy wrestled a very vertical style. She relied on body slams, fireman's carries, and simply overwhelming opponents with endless energy. She was physically larger than most of her peers. Key moves: sit out powerbomb, rare for that time, swinging neck breaker, and airplane spin.
Paige, core style, British strong style submission specialist.
Easy freaking Pete Dunne.
Best asset, the killer instinct. Paige wrestled like a street fighter. She didn't just perform moves, she headbutted, screamed, and tied people into knots. Her family pedigree gave her the ring IQ that was decades ahead of the 80s style. Key moves, the PTO, Paige tap out, Scorpion crosslock. The Rampage, Cradle DDT, and multiple knee strikes. I think you're sweeping this. Oh no, winner Paige. Why? Randy Richter was a pioneer, but she wrestled a style that was very basic by modern standards. She relied on outmuscling smaller women like Kalani Kai. Paige is not smaller, and she is significantly more dangerous. Wendy would try to engage in a test of strength or an airplane spin. Paige would counter that with pure violence, stiff elbows and headbutts. Wendy's 80s offense, dropkicks and slams would hurt, but Paige has absorbed much worse in the UK Indies. The finish. Wendy Richter is feeding off the crowd energy. She whips Paige into the ropes and bends down for a back body drop. Paige stops short, kicks Wendy in the chest, and screams, "This is my house." Wendy, confused by the aggression, charges in for a clothesline. Paige ducks, hooks Wendy's arms, and plants her face first with the Rampage. Wendy is dazed. Paige doesn't go for the pin yet. She rolls Wendy up, steps through, and locks in the PTO. The torque on Wendy's back is excruciating. She has nowhere to go. She taps out.
Well, at least I got a little credibility back at the end here. So overall, with the 5 different championships that we chose to represent, he has 3 wins. I got 2.
I know you're upset by the world one. I know you're upset.
You know what? The only one that really threw me off
It's Hogan, because Hogan doesn't go over.
was the Hogan, and then also the Tito Santana against was it Dolph Ziggler?
Tito Santana was what number?
No.
The last one for
Yeah,
the Intercontinental? Yeah.
Yeah. No, honestly, the Hogan one is Tito Santana against Ziggler, though. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But
So-
regardless.
I did put in the Paul Heyman versus Bobby Heenan because I wanted to see. This is the Super Bowl of managers. We're pitting the 2 greatest talkers, the 2 greatest minds, and the 2 greatest weasels in the history of the business against each other. Paul Heyman, early 90s Paul E. Dangerously, the loudmouth yuppie from New York with the trench coat and the giant Zach Morris cell phone. Bobby the Brain Heenan, prime mid-80s, the weasel. The man who built the Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan feud. He is perfect, cowardly heel who could dump better than half the roster. Here is the breakdown based on our choices. And since this neither is a fighter, this is a battle of cheating. Tail of the tape, Paul Heyman, Fizzalot, oh my god. Core style, psychological manipulator, non-combatant. Best asset, the cell phone. In the early 90s, the brick of a cell phone was a legitimate weapon. Paulie knocked out plenty of people like Sting or Medusa by smashing it over their heads. Fighting ability, virtually 0. Paul is a lover of money, not a fighter. He begs, he pleads, he screams, "I'm just an advocate." Bobby the Brain Heenan, core style, the weasel, secret wrestler. Best asset, bump card, and hidden skill. Most people forget Bobby Heenan was actually a wrestler. He started in the ring. He knew how to take a bump, how to apply a hold, and how to protect himself. He played a coward, but he had the mechanics of a worker. Fighting ability, low compared to a wrestler, but high compared to a manager. He often wore brass knuckles inside his sequence jackets. I didn't know about the brass knuckles. Bobby
Did you know
Heenan
he used
win.
to be a wrestler?
I knew he used to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
The verdict, who wins? Bobby the Brain Heenan. Why? Because Bobby Heenan could actually go. If this match turns into a shoot or real fight or a scripted match, Heenan had the physical tools to win. He took body slams from Andre the Giant and the Ultimate Warrior. He can survive Paul Heyman's slap. Paul Heyman would try to talk his way out of it. He would try to buy Bobby off, but Bobby, for all his greed, loves to humiliate people. The bell rings. Both men immediately roll out of the ring to opposite sides to hide. The ref counts to 9. They both slide back in. Paul Heyman grabs his massive cell phone. Bobby Heenan reaches into his jacket pocket. Paul swings the phone, misses. Heenan ducks with surprising agility, that wrestler instinct, and Paul stumbles from the momentum. Heenan pulls out a pair of brass knuckles, puts them on, and waits for Paul to turn around. Paul turns. Heenan winds up, bam, right between the eyes. Heenan covers him up with his feet on the ropes for leverage, just out of habit. 1, 2, 3.
You know, that was fun.
That was fun. I definitely like that. We definitely have to do it again.
Just with different scenarios.
Yeah, with different. I mean, I don't know what other scenarios we can do, besides like different, like not having the same people.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different like avenues we could take, like different criteria.
We can even have stipulation matches too.
Yeah, I think that was fun though. I enjoyed it. Winning or
I enjoyed
losing,
it.
it is what it is. But
I'm glad you thought it. Like, we were literally sitting at work over the weekend. It was Sunday night, and I'm like, we never picked anything. And you're like, what about this? And I was like, oh man, I really like that. That's a really good idea. I really like that. I'm glad you like popped off at the top of your head with it.
Pop off about a lot of things. But yeah, no, that was fun. It was cool to see, like, even like hearing the hypothetical matchups between these wrestlers that we would really never see in real life. But
No, I mean, I don't know if there's actually any you could actually do.
in like obviously the Hogan versus Angle, yeah, we saw it, but Hogan was old. It wasn't prime Hogan.
It wasn't. Was it WWE or was it TNA? I think it was WWE.
Yeah, it was WWE.
I don't think they did it. I know they're both in TNA at the time, but I don't know if they ever wrestled in TNA, honestly.
But yeah, that's it. That's all we have for this episode. So hope you enjoyed it. If you disagree with some of the outcomes, let us know on the bottom. If you had better suggestions,
Yeah, you know what? Make your own teams up, and we'll take our winners. We'll combine our teams, take the winners of the 3 matches, and if you guys want to make lists, we'll do it, and we'll even talk about it on here.
Yeah,
we'll do a short about it. We'll talk about it. We'll do something about it.
Yeah, we'll have your list go against our winners and see who's the ultimate. See if you can beat it.
Because I know there's someone that's able to make a list up.
There is someone that's able to make a list up.
We'll just see if it actually happens or not.
Yeah, I'm not really necessarily sure that he's capable of.
No, they might be too busy at work.
Or writing and spelling. That might be a hurdle.
That might actually be a hurdle. Yeah, I don't know if they're actually capable of doing that.
Hopefully the hurdle's not too high, because... Anyways.
Thank you so much for talking wrestling with us today.
Yep, and until next week.
Later, guys.